Okay, my name is Ryan Dunson. This is my game called Flutterball. So first we'll start with the global variables. It's all stuff we've seen before. Current scene, so explanatory just changes the scenes of the game, or the levels of the game. Obstacles 1, 2, and 3, these are arrays. These are the arrays that I push all the obstacles into for their respective levels. Obstacles 1 is for level 1, and so on. Obstacle passed is basically the point system of the game. And skips just counts how many times I click the skip button. It changes the end result of the game. So first we start with the ball class. This is my draw. This is just a function I made to draw the actual ball to put into the draw method because I'm kind of lazy. This is the constructor function for the ball. It is very simple. It's just 3 parameters. It's just x, y, and h. It's the same thing as a Bitmoji. H changes like the overall size of the ball. X and Y changes the X and Y values. Prototype draw just draws the ball using these values here. And I also constrained the ball, so when I draw it, it can only go from negative 65y to 250y. That basically means just from like 0 to, or from like 25 to like 375. It's the same thing, but when you change the size of the ball, it just changes the x, like the starting x and y values for some reason. So it just you have to go into the negatives, but it's the same thing. And the prototype hop and prototype fall methods are very self-explanatory. You just like when it's called, the y value of the ball is either increased or decreased by 5. The check for obstacle function, which it was being shown right there. Basically, this is just checking if the ball like hits the wall or not, or if it just doesn't go through the hole. So this says if it doesn't go through the hole, which I can show right here, you lose a point. And it shows that the wall disappears, but the wall is just actually going super far underground, as well as super far to the right of the screen, like 100,000 pixels to the right of the screen. I do this so it doesn't affect like the point system at all, because if it's just completely out of the way, I don't really have to worry about it. That's pretty much it for that. And this game ball, this is the game ball that you see right here. This is like a new instance of the ball constructor function, and I just made it size 50, and then this is just the starting x and y values. So this is the obstacle class. So it's the same thing as the ball function. It's just a lot more parameters. So it's the same x, y, h. The h just controls the height of the rectangle. This is the hole, which I can show you how this works in, I would say, like a minute. And the RGB is it's just like the red, green, and blue values for the fill command. Okay, so this is one of the things that I struggled with a lot during this project, which is just trying to make this like happen, trying to make this hole appear, because I cannot make the hole appear for the life of me. So how I did this was whenever I called this draw method, I made 2 rectangles. The rectangle on the bottom is just the rectangle, since it starts at the top left. The rectangle is like the top left corner is where it like counts like the x and y values. I set the y values to a random value, which we see right here. So this is it. So the y value. So this is saying this bottom rectangle is going to be either from 55, which is like up here, or 350, which is down here. And I did the same thing with the rectangle up top, except instead of starting it at random y values, I started it at 0. So what that does is that makes it so this rectangle is always up top. This rectangle will always be at the top of the screen. And the way I made the hole was I just subtracted the y value of the top rectangle by the hole, and that controls the height. So if the y value was 300, so that would make it down here, and then if I subtract the hole, which is however big I want it, say the hole is size 100, then you're subtracting this y value down here, and it's just going to increase It's just going to basically move up the rectangle by however big the hole is. And that's how I made the hole. It took so long. Ben helped me with it. Thank you, Ben. And this is me pushing the obstacles into the respective arrays. This is for obstacle. This is for the first obstacles or for the first level. This is for the second level. And we notice that I made the hole smaller every time. It's like right here. This is the hole. And I also made it. No, that's it. I just changed the size of the hole. And it's the same thing for the third one. I made the hole really small. It's like size 50. This is the comp button class. Don't have to explain much about this. These are the 4 buttons I used. Just the start button, self-explanatory. Just change it to current scene 2, which is the first level. Help button, which is current scene 1. The help button is the current scene 1. We see both of them on the start menu right here. The back button is just when I hit help and I go back to the menu. That changes the current scene 0. And the skip button, which is very important because it allows you to. It just says add 1 to current scene, so it just changes the level for you, and it controls what. And I added skips plus to the onClick function of this button. So when you hit the button, it just tallies on to this little variable right here, and that controls the ending you get at the end of the game. So depending on the skips value, I'll explain that in a second. So now we have the actual levels. So I'll only go over. So the start screen is very self-explanatory. It's just the start button draw, help button draw, right? Same with the help screen. So I'll go over one of the levels because all the levels are very similar. So this right here controls the ball going up and down. So this is just saying if you hit the up arrow, the game ball hop method, which is just decreasing the y value by 5, will activate. And then if you don't, or if you hit down, then the fall method will activate, which will increase your y value by 5. And this is just drawing the game ball. Okay, so this right here actually draws all the obstacles for me, as well as checks like to see if the game ball actually touches like the obstacle. So this is just calling all of the methods up there that I made. So this draws all the obstacles, and since there's an I right here for this for loop, it's going to draw as many obstacles as I want. And I made the length. I drew 200 obstacles, so this would be I less than 200. So basically there's going to be 200 obstacles that are going to be drawn. This right here makes the obstacles move to the left from the right of the screen. Since this is in like this function right here, this level 1 is in the draw function, this 3 is just going to, X is going to keep being subtracted by 3, basically like every frame, or every 60 frames, I forget how it works. And that'll make the obstacles move. I also added this right here. So if obstacles is less than 10, you get a point. So it's not actually if we go through the hole, it's just like if the wall is behind the ball. So when the wall is behind the ball, you get a point, which is basically the same thing. And then I just move and once it goes to the left of the screen, I just move it all the way to the right, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. This right here is just drawing the skip button. This makes it so you go to the next level when you reach the goal. So the goal here is 20. So when obstacle pass is equal to 20, current scene plus, which is just increases the level by 1, and it resets your obstacles pass variable. So if I hit skip, then it does the same thing. So see my points are now 1. If I hit skip, my points are now 0, so it resets. These are just like the points and goal boxes right here. And it functions exactly the same way for the next 2 levels. So I don't think I have to explain those. My win screen is really fun. So I made the win screen a lot of if statements. 4 if statements, I believe. Yeah, so depending on the skips value, since I skipped all these levels, so you can do better. You skip 3 levels. It tells you how many levels that you skipped. and it should say it. It should say it right here. Right, it says you skips level. So yeah, this is just telling you what level, like what your ending was, depending on how many levels you skipped. If skips is equal to 0, you get this one. If skips equal to 1, you get this level, which is the silver trophy. 2, bronze trophy. You get all 3, you get the little poop. And this is my mouse click function, which just controls all the mouse clicks. So for all like the con buttons and nothing else. So yeah, this is the current scene. So in the menu screen, this controls the start button, the help button. This controls the back button during the help menu. 2 is the first level, that just controls the skip button, and then like the next 2 levels control the skip button as well. So I do this so I don't accidentally click like a button on a current scene that I don't see. So for example, if I don't have this, like if I just have for mouse click, then I just say start button, handle mouse click, and I don't put them in if statements. I could be on level 3 and then I could click right here and it would just hit play. And I would just go back to level 1 on accident, and we don't want that. And the draw function, I just put all of the levels and the menus into the draw function so the ball can move, and so yeah, just basically so the ball can move. And the current scene controls all of the levels, and that's it. That's the code.